Be the one who never stops. Most people stop. They stop when pain appears, when momentum fades, when the silence becomes too heavy. They stop because progress turns invisible and recognition turns quiet. They stop because their goals were built on applause, not on conviction. The world is full of people who start with fire and end in smoke. They mistake excitement for endurance and motivation for discipline. They mistake being seen for being strong. To be the one who never stops is to understand the difference. It is to move without witnesses, to labor without noise, to wake up after failure and build again in the dark. It is not about speed. It is about refusal to surrender the ground already earned, refusal to bend to fatigue, refusal to let doubt become direction. The discipline to continue begins where feeling ends. There will come a point when the reason you began no longer feels alive, when you can't taste progress, when each repetition feels meaningless. That is where the undisciplined break. They call it burnout. They call it bad luck. The disciplined call it the second half. The invisible half. The one that decides whether effort becomes evidence. Consistency is the true measure of strength. You are not defined by your best day, but by the quiet string of ordinary days that follow your worst. Anyone can rise when energy is high. Few can keep walking when energy is gone. Endurance is not an emotion, it is a choice repeated after belief has faded. When you stop needing reward, you become unstoppable. Because most people chase validation disguised as purpose. They start when eyes are on them and fade when eyes turn away. But you, the one who never stops, do not measure effort by audience. You measure it by alignment. You do not ask, am I noticed? You ask, am I consistent? The former seeks comfort. The latter builds character. There is dignity in quiet persistence. The world doesn't applaud the hours when nothing happens. The grind is invisible. The repetitions blur. But those who continue, those who repeat the right thing long enough, eventually become inevitable. Momentum belongs to those who maintain. To never stop is not recklessness. It is patience weaponized. It is endurance that has learned rhythm. The mind must learn to treat boredom as sacred, because boredom is the gate to mastery. The same act, done correctly 1,000 times, reshapes the self. Every small completion reinforces identity. I am the kind of person who continues. Every missed repetition weakens it. Every excuse rewires the brain for surrender. The work is not what shapes you, returning to it does. The world will try to interrupt you. It will sell urgency as importance, distraction as reward, shortcuts as progress. It will praise your beginning and question your silence. Ignore it. The ones who never stop are not in conversation with the world. They are in dialogue with their standard. The noise outside is irrelevant to the law inside. Endurance is not romantic. It is routine. It is what remains when emotion is removed. It is a clock that doesn't care about feelings. Most people stop because they confuse friction with failure. They believe struggle means wrong direction. But struggle is the sign you are still moving, still alive, still paying the price required. To continue is to mature. Children stop when it hurts, adults continue because it matters. The body complains, the mind decides. The world complains, the mission continues. The one who never stops understands that life bends only to those who persist longer than it resists. Pain will visit often. Let it. Pain is the tuition for permanence. Every ache teaches endurance. Every doubt tests structure. Every fall trains recovery. Pain is not a signal to end, it is a signal to focus. The disciplined do not run from discomfort, they study it. They ask, what is this teaching me? Every difficulty contains instructions. The mind must learn neutrality. When progress comes, stay calm. When setbacks come, stay calm. When you lose, stay calm. When you win, stay calm. Because emotion consumes energy, and energy is the only currency that buys consistency. The one who never stops knows that reaction is luxury. Stillness is economy. There will be days when everything inside you argues for rest, for delay, for tomorrow. The undisciplined listen. The disciplined observe, then act anyway. The command is simple, move once more. One more set, one more call, one more paragraph, one more hour. The repetition itself is victory. Each act says, I am not finished. Those who never stop learn to work beyond motivation. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. Motivation asks how you feel. Discipline asks what you've promised. The one who never stops does not rely on moods. He relies on method. Endurance builds identity. You start by doing something difficult, you continue until the difficulty becomes natural. Then you raise the standard again. That is growth, a constant recalibration of what is normal. Weakness doesn't vanish, it adapts. You outgrow it by continuing. You must become immune to praise and criticism alike. Praise softens. Criticism distracts. Both break focus. You continue not because they approve or doubt, but because stopping is betrayal. The one who never stops is loyal to process, not perception. Every repetition is a seed. Results bloom later. Those who stop early never see the field mature. They walk away during the season of doubt and call the soil barren. The patient know better. They trust the cycle. They trust time. There is a quiet arrogance in endurance. Not the arrogance of ego, but of certainty. You stop expecting ease. You stop wishing for shortcuts. You accept the weight and carry it deliberately. That calm acceptance frightens the undisciplined. They mistake it for coldness. It is not cold. It is control. Fatigue is not the enemy, inconsistency is. Rest if you must, but do not detach. Rest with intention, not with escape. Sleep to recover, not to hide. The difference is purpose. The one who never stops knows when to pause, but never forgets direction. Failure is not final to those who continue. The path of endurance is paved with collapses. Every stumble is rehearsal for steadiness. Every lost battle strengthens the rhythm of return. The man who rises endlessly is more dangerous than the man who never falls. The discipline to continue requires forgetting. Forget the applause. Forget the mistakes. Forget the timeline. The mind must remain narrow, aimed only at what must be done next. Regret and pride are both forms of distraction. Progress often disguises itself as repetition. You think you're stuck, but you're consolidating. You think you're slow, but you're refining. You think you're late, but you're learning rhythm. The one who never stops trusts accumulation over excitement. In time, others will notice. They will call it talent, luck, timing. They will not understand the weight of the unseen years behind it. They will not remember when you were invisible. They will not know how many times you wanted to quit. That ignorance is your advantage. The reward for endurance is not applause, it is authority. Authority over your impulses, over your schedule, over your energy. That control becomes character. And character cannot be given, it must be earned by consistency. There will be loneliness in this path. Few walk it. The ones who crave novelty will leave. The ones who worship comfort will disappear. You will stand alone often, surrounded by silence. That silence is not emptiness. It is evidence that you have outlasted noise. To never stop is not obsession, it is alignment. You are not addicted to work, you are loyal to potential. You do not chase perfection, you chase precision. You do not need recognition, you need completion. Every day you continue, you fortify a truth. I do not negotiate with weakness. That truth grows roots. It becomes a law inside you. And one day, when chaos returns, as it always does, you will find yourself unmoved. You will continue, not because you feel ready, but because you have become the kind of person who continues. The difference between ordinary and exceptional is not brilliance. It is duration. The exceptional simply stay longer. They work through boredom, through doubt, through fatigue, until endurance becomes instinct. You will know you've arrived when stopping feels unnatural. When momentum replaces motivation. When your rhythm replaces reason. That is the evolution, to act without the need for external permission, to execute without emotional friction, to live as if forward motion is default. Be the one who never stops. The one who continues when others pause. The one who returns when others retreat. Because every day you move is another day weakness loses. Every step is proof that discipline still wins. Do not rush. Do not seek drama. Do not expect applause. Continue. Quietly. Exactly. Relentlessly. Until repetition becomes elegance. Until resistance becomes rhythm. Until you no longer chase strength because you have become it. That is what it means to never stop. It is not energy. It is not fire. It is not noise. It is the quiet, unbreakable law that says, no matter how long it takes, I will continue. And in a world that worships speed, the man who endures becomes eternal.